Hello, planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations as always. You've made your way to the Buffington Post. Excuse my voice, am I looking rough? I just woke up because I neglected doing this video yesterday all day, so I'm trying to knock out a couple this morning, so please forgive my roughness and the roughness of my voice. Anyway, today I'll be continuing my Season 9 coverage with the Pit Stop number 2, What's at Stake in Season 9, as of issues number 5 through 10 of both Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel and Faith. So with no further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so the second arc of Buffyverse Season 9 has been really weird. Let's go ahead and talk about Angel and Faith first and get them kind of out of the way. We don't have any of our new characters really spending much time on the page. Nadira really gets the most page time out of any of the new characters. We see a little bit of Alistair, but I really do like this because the first arc was so Faith-centric, and we dealt a lot with Nadira, and we dealt a little bit with Pearl and Nash, but not enough to really make us care about those characters or see them as a real threat yet. And so, given the fact that we haven't really delved into any of those too much, it's nice to come back to Angel and Faith, and particularly Angel, and deal with what's important for those characters without kind of wishing that we were seeing more of Pearl and Nash and Whistler. We do see a little bit of Alistair. I really didn't mention much of it in Daddy Issues Part 1, but we have this thing with Faith wherein Alistair is really trying to get her to steer Angel away from this whole plan of his to resurrect Giles. And yeah, we'll see more of Alistair as the season progresses, but really not until we come back from Los Angeles. So, Nadira, we got to spend a little bit of time with her, and I think it's really interesting that Angel and Nadira very much see Drusilla's answer in the same way. Faith is seeing the bright side, seeing that you can have your trauma taken away and all this good stuff, but Nadira and Angel, they really see the harm that it does, the fact that they are really committed to their respective causes, and Nadira, of course, is, hating on Angel all the time, but I like that Faith is kind of caught between these very two different kind of extremes, and having to be caught in the middle is a neat place for her to be. I like that Nadira goes off on Faith. I like that Angel sets Faith straight by the end of it, and I really do like the Nadira character and what she means for Faith moving forward, and how Faith is going to kind of approach what it is that Nadira is going through, because we were talking about this in the comic section in season 10 of Angel, I believe. But Nadira is very much a very new kind of Slayer. All of the events that happened in season 8 have really affected her. She was affected by Buffy's spell at the end of season 7, and she became a Slayer. And then Whistler, Pearl and Nash, and Twilight, I guess Whistler helped out with that too, totally massacred her Slayers. Willow came along and rescued her, and now there's no magic, and she's caught up in all of these decisions that Buffy and Angel have made, and she is the consequences of those decisions. And so I really do like that for Nadira. We got Drusilla back in Angel and Faith this arc, and I really like having Drusilla around. She brings some weight to everything that Angel has done, and I was watching Only Lovers Left Alive yesterday, and I would really suggest that. It's Tom Hiddleston and Tilda Swinton, and they are centuries-old vampires, but they're like kind of super cool hipsters. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's a really good movie, and just the way that they affect one another and how they do have these long lives, and they're always going to be intertwined. That's what Drusilla is really all about. She's here again to show us the consequences of Angel's actions, and having her sane was just a really nice treat for fans of the show and of the whole property to kind of look at Drusilla in a different light and have her actually kind of come to terms with everything that Angel's done and forgive him for it and offer him this same thing. The reason that I didn't like the Master showing up at the end of season 8 was just because the Master really doesn't mean anything to us. Sure, he's there for nostalgia factor and all this good stuff, but the Master doesn't have that emotional weight that a character like Drusilla has. And so I much prefer it when they utilize our characters that we haven't seen in a really long time the way that they handled it with Drusilla. Whereas with the Master, it was really a waste of time, and it was just like shock value and look, the Master's on the cover, why don't you buy this one? That's how I felt about that. But Drusilla really is a lovely way to explore what's really at stake with Angel and his decisions. So with this, we have the Tooth of Amut, and I like that Drusilla is the one to point it out and tell us, the reader, what's going on. I think it's a really neat idea that Angel's soul is not going to be alone in there, and he's also got Angelus in there, and now he's got about 3 pieces of Giles in him, and Drusilla warns him, the more of Giles you get in you, the more of Giles you will be. And so that is why, of course, at the end of issue number 4, Angel was like with the reading glasses and talking like Giles, and it's going to be really neat to have Giles come about through Angel. So that's all good stuff. And Sophronia and Lavinia, I love those bitches, and having them around is going to be a lot of fun as well. So let's move on to Buffy. So I distinctly remember reading Buffy season 9, number 5 when it came out, and when I turned the last page and Buffy was pregnant, mind blown. I remember it was such a moment, and I was really excited for it too. I thought, whoa, Buffy is living a real life. Like, what the fuck is going on? And it's a lot of fun, and I liked the idea that Buffy would be pregnant in this world without magic. This is what Buffy's life is going to be. And of course, that doesn't work out. And in a lot of ways, I feel like it kind of was a cheat to make her a robot, because I was just really excited to see how Buffy would handle pregnancy and motherhood and all that good stuff. But obviously we can't have Buffy the Vampire Slayer if she's toting a baby everywhere. Although you never know with seasons well in the future. So I miss that Buffy wasn't pregnant, but I totally loved the whole robot thing. I just love it. We don't see any of Severin in the second arc. He's, I guess still in the hospital or something, but having Simone around did provide for some good fun. Most of the fun of this whole arc comes from Buffy being a robot. And I really do like On Your Own Part 1, where we go and hang out with Robin and all that good stuff, and Buffy comes to this decision for herself. All of that's really good, really good. And, the Buffy and Spike relationship is something that's been up in the air since the end of season 8, when he just kind of showed up and he was sticking around in San Fran with her. So to have Spike be the one to say, you don't treat me right, I'm leaving, it's a big moment for the Spike character. And I know, I'm kind of anti-Spuffy, but at the end of the day, I really do appreciate and respect the relationship between Spike and Buffy, and I do appreciate and respect Spike. I feel like we have the comic books and we can move away from Buffy and her vampire lovers. That's really my only thing. I'm not anti-Spuffy at all, but like I said, I do like that Spike stands up for himself and he says, I'm not going to be your punching bag or your, I don't want to be your downtime. I don't want to be your fallback rut anymore. Yeah, Everclear. There you go. Yeah, I like this for Spike. It's good for him. Dawn and Xander. Xander is really starting to show us that he's not okay from everything that's gone on in his life. He's really not okay. And Dawn, we're forgetting about her. We're literally leaving her to take care of people while the ambulance gets there. And Buffy's forgetting about her. And we're not going to be dealing with a whole lot of Dawn in season 9. And this is very, very purposeful on the part of the writers and producers. So I like that, although it is really weird because all throughout season 8, they kind of made Dawn too big to ignore, literally. And then, they made her wild, and then they made her, back to being Dawn. And she really fit. She really did work toward the end of season 8. I really enjoyed Dawn pretty much all throughout season 8. And now in season 9, they're pretty much giving the fans what they've always wanted. So careful what you wish for, fandom. What else have we got? Well, we've got Buffy's roommates, and of course they know that she's a Slayer, and we finally get the moment where they say, oh, we want you to stay, even though Buffy had thought that they didn't. But we'll get back to Buffy's new roommates when we come back from whatever Kennedy's got in store for us. Willow. So Willow just up and left, and she was just gone, super gone. She's somehow going to use Buffy's scythe to restore magic to our world. That's going to be neat, but yeah, she's in London now, and we'll see how that all works out. She and Angel and Faith are going to go on a road trip to LA, and that'll be fun. But back to Buffy being a robot, right? Like, it's so organic. It makes so much sense. It's how people kind of feel about the book. Like, there's no magic in it, but here's Buffy. It's still going on. The world's still going, and go, 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 I am a comic book, I am doing Buffy things. I really like that. It makes so much sense to me. It's very meta, and it says a lot about how Buffy feels about herself, just as a person. She very much is trying to separate these two parts of her life, but there's no separating it, and that's something that Buffy's really great at illustrating throughout the entire series. She can't ever have her cake and eat it too. She finds out she's a much better dessert just being who it is that she is. So I do like that, and I love Andrew in this. It's really fun to have Andrew back and to say, oh shit, look at you, Andrew. You really are, like, doing things. And sure, they're crazy, but keep in mind that Andrew started this whole, like, disaster relief program, and while Buffy's just been kicking back, serving coffee, Andrew's been out there fighting this fight in whatever way that he can, and he's actually kind of doing a better job than Buffy. Sure, he got her body all kidnapped, but that's beside the point. He was at least trying, whereas Buffy just had kind of given up and decided that no magic, no problems. We got Simone, and Simone's plans are still like, what is your plan? We don't know. And I like that she says, I'm not going to tell you my plan, dumbass. I do like that, and Simone has some really neat philosophical issues that she's going to need to work through. And just the whole idea of this renegade Slayer who's got a grudge against Buffy and wants something to do with Slayer power, it's really neat, and I like that Simone realizes what it is that she doesn't have. She hasn't had her own comic book for 10 years. She's new to this, and she realizes that she doesn't have that same kind of social capital and just real power that Buffy has, whether it's, power or just, power over the minds of the people around us. So I do like that, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else we really need to talk about for what's going on in the verse between issues 5 and 10. Okay, well, obviously we've got the Zompires, but I'm going to wait and talk about the Zompires when we get into issue number 14 and the whole Billy the Vampire Slayer thing. So I will be talking about the vampires and how meta they are in the same vein as the whole Twilight arc. Not really. And if there is, I'm sure you'll comment below and point it out. By the way, you guys, I had such an overwhelming response from Buffy Season 10, number 20. I'm glad you guys are really passionate about the verse. And just thanks for talking about it here. My next Buffyverse discussion is going to be about the Buffyverse and time and how wonky it is now that we're in the comic books. So that's pretty much all for today, you guys. I hope you're having a great 2015 so far. You can come right back here to the Buffington Post anytime. I've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on other Slayers. Hey, The Leftovers comes on tonight. It'll be episode 4 of season 2, so wait for a review for that. And if you're not watching The Leftovers, you can check out my episode 2 review, and it tells you why you should be all about it, right? So, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.